Reports recently came out estimating how much Bungie spent on making Marathon and how much they've made back so far, and those numbers are kind of really concerning. If the trend stays the way that it is for this game, it won't last long. Sorry to say, but we've seen this before. Before I mention numbers, we've got to talk about the uphill battle Marathon has had way before launch even started, and this tells a good chunk of the story. The playtest didn't get great feedback. There was the whole art theft situation, which they did end up settling with the artist. Still no idea how much they paid that artist. Then they opened up the server slam, and that came with a bunch of issues too. Bugs, UI clutter, and if you've been watching my videos, you already know about the cursor issue I had when I was forced to play on console for a bit. That was crazy, and I'm pretty passionate about that one for some reason, but it wasn't just me either. Big streamers like Summit, Hutch, Tim the Tap Man, the Burnt Peanut mentioned a few critical issues about this too. I put together a compilation in last week's video, definitely worth watching if you get a chance. One of the biggest problems hasn't even been the game itself though. It's been the constant hate, especially from parts of the Arc Raiders community that straight up don't want this game to succeed. And you see it all over Twitter. Arc Raiders accounts just constantly laughing at Marathon's player numbers, and it's kind of cringy to be honest. You know, Arc Raiders is probably my favorite game from last year. I still love it. I haven't played it much lately, but it's always on my mind. I wish I had the time for it. I just don't understand this whole pick a side and hate everything else mentality. It's weird. You can like both games. I do. And I've said this in a ton of my other videos, but let's get into what really matters, the real issue, because this is where things get scary for Bungie. Bungie spent about $250 million on Marathon, and right now people estimate they've made about $55 million back. This doesn't even include server costs or future content. It's not looking good, guys. But what does look good is if you hit the like button, you comment and subscribe. I'll be pinning a comment in each video, so I'd love to hear your thoughts on this conversation. But yeah, if they don't find a way to bring in a broader audience soon, this game could end up being more of a rental experience than a long-term one. And yeah, it's not a completely flopping game like Concord, but the game is on shaky grounds right now. Reports are saying this game isn't facing imminent shutdown, but that doesn't mean much to me. Doesn't move me one bit, because even hinting at something like that would cause players to leave immediately. They're not going to be telling the whole truth. No one's gonna say, yeah, we're thinking about shutting this game down. No one would buy the battle pass, the skins. This game wouldn't last long at all if they mentioned a hint of that. And the numbers are already trending down. Steam charts showed a peak at about 88,000 players, and now it's even closer to 25K, which is even lower than when I talked about it in a previous video. So yeah, the drop off is happening fast, and Bungie knows it. You can see it in the updates. They're trying to make the game more accessible. They've added things like a free kid only match in Dire Marsh, which I get why they did it. It's not something I'd get into though. If I'm taking someone out, I want there to be a chance they actually had something worth looting. But I understand the idea. It creates a different kind of experience. I know the sniping issue is really big on Dire Marsh, so this kind of helps out with that. So that's a great idea. You can focus on your contracts, you can do all of your things and not worry about someone who's completely stacked. But you've also got another way to play the game too. You've got players rushing to loot areas where they know they have a good chance of finding a nice weapon, so they can start taking out people with free kits. It doesn't sound bad, but yeah, it's not for me. It's a sign Bungie is trying to fix things though. They also added mercy kits so players can revive enemies, and I see what they're going for, but this isn't that type of game. In Arc Raiders, it works great. It's common. But in Marathon, no one's really using proximity chat like that. Not to that extent, at least. The game feels way more aggressive. When you see another team, your fingers twitch. And there you are, a bunch of runners down next to you. You got the job done, no hesitation. I'd be surprised if people use that feature often, but Bungie is trying, and that matters. They're also giving solo players more XP and reputation, which makes sense, because running solo is way harder and way harder to complete contracts. They're also balancing weapons and making core gameplay adjustments. All of that stuff matters, but it's not enough. They need something that actually pulls people back in. They've got to figure something out sooner than later. And this isn't just about Marathon either. Bungie as a whole is in a rough spot right now. Destiny 2 has low player numbers. There's been a lot going on internally, and it feels like the studio is under some real pressure, which sucks to say because as a player, I really enjoyed pretty much every game Bungie has put out this far. They used to be the cream of the crop, the cherry to the cherry soda. By the way, I would always ask for an extra cherry, and that's what Bungie would give me, those extra cherries to that Coke. But yeah, there needs to be a defining moment that gets people's heads turning and move past all the noise from the haters and previous sentiment Bungie laid on themselves. If they don't, we're gonna come across another X-Defiant situation. If you see my previous videos, you know that I'm like somewhat obsessed over X-Defiant unintentionally. I just realized it when making this channel. But yeah, I came across this Reddit post that shares a concern that most people have, and I had to bring this up, and you'll definitely know why in a second. This guy's talking about the cancellation rumors that are coming about He says, finally picked up Marathon. I've been looking forward to this game for a while and I'm hyped that I've jumped in. But I keep seeing rumors that this game might get canceled or dropped. Anyone know what's going on? Really hoping it's not true because I spent money on this. I had a breakdown when X Defiant got canceled, not really ready for another one. And man, I couldn't relate to this guy more. I feel like this was my post. Like maybe I posted this while I was asleep. It's crazy when you see someone from another gaming community and hop over to the same other gaming community that you're into now. It's a situation like, hey, have I seen you before? It's kind of crazy. But yeah, if you feel the same way, leave a comment below, leave a like, subscribe if you like what I'm doing here. I'm a new channel, just trying to share my love for the games that I play. I appreciate it. Take care.